Hey guys, how's it going? Previously on the channel, we were working on this 1969 John Deere 112 patio. I actually bought this off of somebody I know. Previously on the channel, we went to a 2-cylinder expo. I did some filming over there for the channel, and I uploaded it. We looked around at some things. We actually looked at this tractor while I was there. There was an auction going on at the expo. I didn't exactly know about it at the time, or else I'd have went over there and did some looking around. Went over there and looked at this tractor. I just kind of skimmed over it in the video. I more or less just looked at it and said it reminded me of my orange patio because it had some green. The hood uprights were green, and it also had a green hood, and I don't think it had a seat. I don't think it had a seat on it. So there was one of the things that was missing. But like I said, had a green hood and a green uprights and some other things. Maybe not. Those were the only two. So somebody who I know went to the auction. He ended up with this tractor, and then you can guess where it ended up from there. I ended up buying it. Been a good one. We got it running, I want to say, roughly a year ago now. Just about, because it is June, and I think the expo was in June. It might have been in August. I'm not completely sure, but I think it was in June. So I'd have had this tractor now for about a year. Got it running. What all did we have to do with it? We did some cleaning up on it. It was really, really covered in rust. So I went over it with what did I go over it with? I think it was a Scotch-Brite. No. Steel. SOS pad, that's what it was. And it cleaned up all the rust, and it made the paint look really good again. There was some spots that it didn't exactly get all that great, like the rims, but oh well. Put some new tires on it. I got 2 new rims for the rear tires finally. However, this one, I guess when I was putting the tube into the tire, the tube punctured. Oh well, I'm just going to have to get a new tube, I guess. So unfortunately, that one punctured, but the other one's holding up just fine. And the other 2 tires up in the front are tubed also, and they seem like they're holding up just fine. The tires on the back of it were Cub Cadet tires. I didn't have a problem with them, but the tread on them was really bad, and I highly doubt they would have been able to pull anything or even move if the ground was wet. So went ahead and I changed them. Here soon I will be acquiring a new tractor. As you guys, I'm sure, can see, this hood is not great, and this is also I've shown it before, and I think you guys already know this is the hood that came off of my red patio, the first hood that I painted for it, just to kind of have a hood for it. The mounting points are busted, as you can see. I have a hood that I'm getting that has good mounting points. We're going to end up painting it. The only problem is it's not in as nice of shape as this one, but at least I can bolt it to the tractor. I'm probably going to look around and see if I can find a darker blue or even the correct spruce blue. And I'm also looking for a better seat. This tractor I'm getting doesn't have a seat. You guys will find out what it is if it's not on the channel at the time of this being posted. So yeah, there you go. Let's go on ahead and let's get into this thing. One thing I want to do, this is probably going to be the only thing I want to do, is I want to address the starter, because when you go to crank the engine, it'll click. You'll hear the solenoid click, and if you go in there and tap on the starter with a mallet or something, it'll end up wanting to work. And also, that starter doesn't exactly sound all that great. So I want to pull the starter apart, and I want to open it up and just kind of look at it and see, how exactly it looks inside of there, if it needs to be cleaned up or if something's wrong with it. I have my suspicions as to why this tractor was parked, and I believe that might have been one of them. But other than that, it seems like it does just fine. The key switch on it seems to be okay. The solenoid, I believe I replaced it, so there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. So yeah, I'm not sure how far we're going to get into it in this video. My plan currently is just to change the starter. I need a video because I don't really have any right now, and I don't really have anything else to do on the home light. Well, I do, but I'm currently stuck. So there you go. So let's go on ahead and let's get you guys set up in the stand and let's get this battery tray took out of here. And once we get this battery tray took out of here, we can dig into it. So let's go on ahead and let's pull this off of here. We'll take the gas tank out of it, which looks like it's just held on there by one band currently. Take it out, and then we should be able to get to the starter, hopefully. So I brought this starter over here to the bench after getting it out of the tractor, and I tried spinning it. It spins, but it's really tough to spin. It should not be, it should just easily turn. You should not, have it do that. And even turning it slowly, it does it. Well, that time it didn't. It's pretty damn difficult to turn. So we're gonna go on ahead and we're gonna pull the gear off. Should be 9/16. I don't know, maybe we'll find it, maybe we won't. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna clean it up in the wire wheel. I'm gonna take that and clean it up in the wire wheel too. Then we'll oil that and we'll put it back together. But first, let's get this guy demolished. I guess the big question is, wow, that's stiff. Are we gonna save this? Or is it gonna be unsavable? That made me nervous. I wonder if we'd be better off using an impact to get these. So we might as well just go on ahead and take it apart. I bet you this thing hasn't even been apart since it was new. Judging by that, I'd say water got into it. Unless it goes, oh, it goes all the way through the outside. Okay. And this one down here holds it to this. I wonder if this motor has brushes in it. I would think it does, but looking at it right now, the bottom of the newer starters had a little bit more to them than just that. Oh, I didn't expect that. Something just fell. What was that? Washer. Oh, it's a washer. That comes off too. This is definitely an old one. This has definitely got to be the original starter to this. No doubt. Yeah. Oh boy, we might not be able to save this one. Can we? Well, we're gonna have to. How the hell do you get this thing apart anyway? You can't take that out, because if you do, well, then you're pretty well screwed. Wonderful. Does that have... No. Well, let me grab a 7/16, I guess, and I guess we're about to determine the fate of this thing. Does it get saved or not? Well, that turns. So that's good. Maybe we'll get lucky. I'm guessing that the stud comes out and goes down through, doesn't it? It probably does. Conveniently. And it's probably stuck, yeah. So, how do you get this apart if that doesn't... Well, now it's turning easy. Not easy, but easier. Maybe we should just leave good enough alone. Let's try hitting that down with a rubber mallet and seeing what it does to move, and I will not be one bit offended if it doesn't, but it's going in. It hit the rotor though. Yeah, it did. Okay. So then there has got to be a way to remove that, you think? What would be the way to do it? And now we're pinned because that's stuck in order to get this end off, unless I can pull this out of here. Oh, I can. Okay. So then, well, now we can take that off. Huh, okay. Boy, oh boy. Don't I look stupid? So there we go. We got that out. There's a shim. Alright, well, I actually kind of like that setup. That seemed like made it fairly easy to get that out of there. I also noticed it doesn't exactly seem like there's too much of magnetism in there. So that's another kind of red flag that I have at the moment. Let me tighten this back down. That way we don't have to worry about it, since now we figured out we don't have to take it apart. I'm going to take the rotor and I'm going to clean it up. Maybe I'll show you. Yeah, I'll show you guys how I clean up my starter rotors. And I quote unquote rebuild them. I don't really rebuild them. I kind of clean them up. And then once they're cleaned up, they seem to work fairly well. I don't really do anything to the brushes. The brush doesn't look terrible. It probably could be better. This bushing actually didn't look too bad neither. So we'll leave both of them alone. But I'm going to take this up front and I'm going to do some wire wheeling on it. Maybe I'll throw it in the lathe and do some cleaning on it too. That'd probably be better off actually than that. So that in there looks fine. There's a bushing inside of here. It's not a bearing, it's a bushing. And there's also a bushing right there. So for those of you wondering. Just brought everything back from up front, so let's go on ahead and get it back together. This is also some engine oil. This is what I've been using lately in some things. It's engine oil that's been run, but only ran for 5 minutes. And there's nothing in it. I filtered it out real good. It went in an engine that I was testing and it leaked, so I just changed it. Or I drained it out, and then I ended up changing the oil, so that's what's in there. It should be all right to use for what we're doing. So we want to run this back in. Actually, we want to put the shim. I believe that one of the shims goes on the front, and there's a shim that goes on the back, correct? I believe so. Let's see. It almost doesn't feel like there's any sort of magnetism at all. I wonder if the magnet in here is no good. Because it should move. It shouldn't be. No, there's no magnetism. Well, these magnets are no good. There is no pull at all from these magnets. So, yeah. There you go. Apparently this starter may not be any good. Well, that's really unfortunate. So I guess we'll have to figure a way to remagnetize them, or just get a new starter for it, I guess. That's probably going to be the next option. So I went ahead and I put a different starter on there. I just took one off of one of my 140s and threw it on there because I can easily get to the starter on a 140. And I would rather have a gooder one. I would rather have a good starter on here because that's a pain in the ass to get to, as you guys saw. So we're going to go on ahead and we're going to pull the spring out of here. I got the thing on there. I also adjusted the PTO linkage so I can put a mower deck on it and we can try mowing with it and see how it does. So let me get this spring out of here. Yeah, that spring's in fairly rough shape. It wasn't holding it. It wasn't bringing itself back up, you know, so that made me have the suspicion of that's the problem. And there's a good spring. There's that spring. So it's definitely collapsed on itself. So we'll just put some oil in there real fast. I had made a video prior showing how to change the spring in this linkage because I had somebody ask me how to do it because they weren't 100% sure. They didn't know that this top unthreaded. So I sent them, so I made a video and I uploaded it to YouTube because I thought, well, maybe somebody else has this problem too. I had some jackass comment on there, wow, what a waste of my time just showing how to replace a spring. What a fucking joke. Yeah. I went out of my way to do something nice for somebody that asked me a question, and I get some dumbass in return who complains about what a waste of my time. That's 6 minutes that I'll never get back. Fuck you, dude. Let's try this one. Maybe this one will. Yes. Yes. Cool. I don't want to push that linkage down. That's my big worry. I'm sticking the washer in there to help get a little bit more throw out of it because that, when that was in the arm it came out of, it didn't seem like it came up all that high, that spring. So hopefully now you were supposed to spring back up. Oh boy. It was supposed to spring back up, but for whatever reason, it didn't. Yes. Well, we're getting somewhere at least. It's going up. It's been a good number of years though since anything on here has moved, and this tractor sat, when I got it, it sat so long that everything on it was seized, if that tells you anything. So there you go. The only thing, surprisingly, that wasn't seized was the engine. The steering, actually, I don't remember if the steering, I feel like one of the spindles was stuck, but I don't remember. There we go. That moves. If we have to, we can just pick up on that. I might throw some more washers in there. We'll see. So there we go. So now I can throw a battery in it and some gas. And once we throw some battery in it and some gas, and I'll have to throw a different tire on the rear end. I'll probably just take one off the home light. We can take it out and we can try mowing with it. We can see how it does. So let me get a battery, put in it some gas, and let me get that tire changed out on the other side, and we'll just see how it does. Got everything back together. I put the battery in. We were having a ground issue before, if I remember right, so I went and I cleaned up the ground wire. Let's go on ahead and see if this thing turns over, and if it turns over, let's see if it'll start. I did put some gas in it, by the way. Does the choke on here move? Yes, it does. Ready? Oh, we gotta hook the plug wire back up. Idiot. I might actually throw a different plug wire on here now that I see that. Ready? Here we go. That was quick. That was really quick. Bypassed, that's why. Cool. I'm gonna let it warm up for a minute, and once I do that, I'm gonna grab that deck and throw it on it, and let's take it out and see how it does. Ready? Let's see what it does. to adjust the clutch because, as you guys saw, it's not exactly pulling all that great. Other than that, though, I am impressed. The belt definitely needs to be changed. I changed the one in the back because the one that was in there before popped off. And it has definitely seen better days. I'll let you guys be the judge of what you think about this belt. It's supposed to have a V, it's not supposed to be flat. So that's what was on there in the rear end. killed the belt. Oops. I can definitely say it runs a lot better now than it did when we first started it up. Man, that sounds good. So I think now what we need to do is we need to for sure figure out the PTO, because you cannot disengage the PTO. It's fully engaged. I need to find a better bolt for it to hold tension on that arm, because it needs tension put on it when the PTO, for it to engage the PTO, and you want it on there fairly tight. That way it doesn't slip, as you guys saw it was doing while we were out there using it. So that's going to have to be something to look into. Front belt, for that goes to the variator, will probably have to be replaced. That variator doesn't look all that great neither, and it has some wiggle to it, so it probably needs replaced also. Fun, fun, fun. I was kind of surprised that belt lasted as long as it did. As you guys can see, it was fairly cracked up. It is fairly cracked up still, but it looked like some chunks started flying off of it while we were out there in certain areas. So there you go. I was kind of surprised it lasted as long as it did. It mowed just about the whole front yard. We were pretty close to being done, but then the belt decided, I'm just gonna give up. So there you go. Mowing it, second gear, full variator. That's just about the only place it really wanted to be. If you had it too high up, it would bog down the deck. The engine seemed like it was doing just fine. However, if you had it too far forward, or if you had the variator too far back, it would just stop. There was no in between when it came to it. Because usually I'll do the variator, I'll have it set, I'll have it in third gear, and usually when I'm mowing, I will set it back some, probably around right there, and that's usually where I'll have it at when I'm mowing. So there you go. But yeah, I was pretty happy the hood didn't fly off neither. So what we need to do is we need to check the oil, and we need to see where it's exactly at. It has not smoked the entire time I was running it. It seems like it's almost gone away. It had a little bit of an oil smell before, but now I don't smell it anymore, so I'm kind of nervous, but at the same time, it almost seemed like it was getting better as it ran before, so maybe it'll hopefully still have some oil in it. So let me put you guys in the stand. We're going to let this thing cool down for a while before we really dig into anything. However, I do want to check the oil first. This is probably not going to be the end of the video, but I guess we'll see. It depends on where it goes from here. So what do you guys think our blood stick's at? I'm going to go on ahead and say we've probably burned... we're probably maybe around the middle of the stick. Probably not too far bad. It still definitely has some oil in it. Still oil on the stick. That's good. It actually looked fairly clean. Oh yeah, there's still oil on the stick. We're about halfway by the looks of things, halfway up the stick. Look how clean that oil looks still. That looks pretty good. And I know it looks like it's right there on add, but I can see, I'm not sure how well the camera picks it up, but I can see it up a little bit over add. Yeah, I can see it up a little bit over add again. It's right there in the middle. So it didn't do too bad. And that oil still looks fairly clean, so I don't know. That's it right there. It's not black. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I think about this one. I do know though it did pretty good. It it definitely pulled its own weight around, you know, and did what it was supposed to, which is good. So, let's see, where do we go from here? I'm tempted to end the video and get back into this in a different video because I really don't think it needs a whole lot, except for we got to figure out the belt, or we got to decide if we're going to do the belt or replace the variator. I don't know, we'll have to see. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If this is your first time checking out my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Doesn't cost you a thing. It tells myself as well as YouTube that you guys like my videos and want to see more. It also tells YouTube's algorithm. If you go down below and like the video, it tells YouTube's algorithm that people like my videos and that they want to see more recommended to them. And hitting that like button will help my videos get around and more people watch them. I'm not sure if the amount of subscribers you have will do the same thing, but maybe it does. I'm not 100% sure. I do know that liking the videos helps me out a ton. So if you guys could just go down below, hit that like button, it would do me a huge favor. I see these videos get a lot of views, but barely any likes. So like I said, it would really mean the world to me if you guys would go down below, hit that like button. I'm not going to talk about it no more. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, this is pretty much what we do. We resurrect old junk and we bring it back to life and we use it. That's our latest subject right there, my 72 patio, or my 72 home light. This is one that we're currently working on the channel, and here's another one. So yeah, there you go. All right, guys, I will see all of you in the next video. Take care, guys.